In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the thermostat and housing on this Ram 2500 with a 6.4 liter engine. It's located right behind your water pump, so let's get started. If you look through the driver's side fender well, you'll see where the radiator drain plug is, located right on the lower corner of the radiator. You'll need an H10 or a hex 10 socket in order to break this free and let the radiator drain. Turn it. This will pop out. And there we go, let that drain into a collection bucket. Remove the tool. Under the hood, behind the air filter housing, now this is an aftermarket air filter housing, but yours should be closed up here. You'll find the coolant expansion tank. Unthread the cap, turn it counterclockwise and remove it. This is going to allow air to enter the system as the coolant keeps draining. Set this aside. Once you're done draining this, put your tool back in, tighten this up, turn it clockwise, it'll pull itself back in, and once it stops, that's it. Don't keep tightening it. It'll feel like it just locked into place, and that is closed up at this point. There's an O-ring in there that seals it up. Wipe off anything that dripped. If you follow the upper radiator hose, you'll see that it leads down to the thermostat and thermostat housing. There's going to be a clamp that we'll have to remove. I'm going to be using some hose clamp pliers, but if you can get some regular pliers down there, they will take the clamp off. It's just going to be a little bit difficult to fit them. Squeeze the clamp down. Pull it away. At this point, you should be able to move the radiator hose and remove it. I'm using a pick to get behind the hose, or underneath the hose, I guess, and break it free from that aluminum housing. Try not to pierce the hose if you're gonna do this. Oh, there we go. It's coming off. All right. There's an electrical connector on this thermostat housing. You can reach it through the wheel well. And it's this right here. Press on the tab and disconnect it. And now there are two 13mm bolts to be undone. One here, one underneath. All right, I have them both broken free. So now I can remove both of them. Keep in mind, more coolant is probably going to come out once they are unbolted and removed. Now reach in here and remove the thermostat housing. And there it is. Let's clean up that housing on the engine block right now. There's a little bit of corrosion. I'm going to use a razor blade to scrape that off nice and gentle. You don't want anything that'll gouge the surface. And the razor blade is sharp enough to scrape off the corrosion, but it's also gentle enough to not create very deep grooves, such as some coarse sandpaper or screwdriver or anything like that. And there will be a little bit of debris that is going to get in that coolant, but that's all right. I can just absorb it with a paper towel. I don't recommend using some compressed air in here, because as soon as you blow it in, it's going to splash all over. And it looks like the razor blade is cleaning things up quite nicely. You don't need to get it looking brand new shiny, but you do need to get that corrosion off so that the new gasket can seal up. Take a clean rag and just wipe off the surface. Bring the thermostat in. I have one bolt already in the housing, this lower one, just because I can reach it easier from down here. I'm going to start it in by hand. This is going to hold the thermostat for me, that way I don't have to struggle and get the other one started. And I'm going to bring this in as much as I can by hand and start in the top one. Once you have them bottomed out by hand, let's snug them up and torque them. All right, both of those are snug. Let's torque them to 22 foot-pounds. My only option is to use a swivel, and unfortunately that does make it so the torque isn't 100% accurate. However, it is the best option I have, and I'm just going to do my best to get it nice and tight. 22 foot-pounds, here we go. All right, so that's 22 on both of them. Plug in the sensor. There we go. Make sure that wiring harness clips in and is locked in place. If you pull it, it should not want to unhook. Take the upper radiator hose and slide it back onto the thermostat housing. Okay, make sure that's slid all the way down before you completely reattach it. Right here, there's a little tab and the hose is pressed up against it, so I'm sure that this is completely bottomed out. And I can also feel the end of that thermostat housing right here, which is where it was before. Now I need to center up the clamp. Okay, I have the clamp centered up where it was before. Gonna release it, and that's perfect. Hose is bottomed out, and the clamp is on there nice and tight. Now I'm going to fill up the cooling system, and instead of using a bleeder funnel, because this is an expansion tank that cannot be full to the brim, unlike a radiator cap, for example, I'm going to pour it directly into the tank. And I'm going to fill it up to the max line, and I will let the air naturally rise to the top. So when it stops bubbling, that's when I'm going to turn the engine on and let the water pump push the coolant through and get all the air out of the system. I'm going to watch the temperature gauge on the dash to make sure the engine doesn't overheat. But as long as it reaches the halfway point, which is operating temperature, and I feel both radiator hoses are hot, I know that the system is fully bled as long as there are no more air bubbles coming out. And at that point, I will double check the level to make sure it's still full. And that is the end of the bleeding procedure. Once everything has been filled up and bled, cap this back off. When you tighten this cap, make sure it bottoms out completely and clicks. And there you have it, job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.